Live from the rinks in Hot Pog, New York, we welcome you to this special presentation of Spooky Brook hockey right here, streaming on YouTube as the undefeated Seawolves host the University of Rhode Island Rams in the best of two matchups here on Long Island this weekend. Mike Kalandra here, ready to bring you the action, and let's join the public address announcer for tonight's starting lineups.
Number 6, Mike McCarthy. Number 7, Dennis Nicholson. Number 22, Luke Judge. Number 12, James Villion. And in goal, number 30, Curtis Brick. And here are your Stony Brook Seawolves! On defense, number 55, Ian Gallagher. His defensive partner, number 18, Spencer Reyes. The left winger, number 70, James Golosaki. The center, number 15, Jesse Edwards. The right winger, number 76, Will Boyd. And in goal, number 35, Tom Sullivan. At this time, we ask everyone to rise for the playing of our national anthem.
Stony Brook attempting to remain undefeated after picking up a big 4-2 victory last night, in which we saw a rather tame battle than what we're usually accustomed to with head coach Chris Garofalo's Seawolves, and that has a lot to do with what I alluded to during the broadcast last night, the adapting that this team has been going through over the last couple of weeks, led by Chris Garofalo. And here we go again. First period underway. Spencer Boris and Aiden Gallagher both each going home with a goal last night. Start on the defense here on this early Saturday evening. URI exploding ahead as Boris is able to make the cancellation. Now Jesse Edwards, another player who picked up a goal last night on the ice for his first shift. He immediately gets off to the bench as Chris Garofalo makes the first line change of the game for Stony Brook. Brandon Vezov, a couple Saturdays ago, an eventful game against Manhattanville College in which he delivered the shootout winner in round 3. Round 2 as this one gets floated in front. Couldn't be jammed home as we get a whistle. Our first stoppage of the day. In goal for the University of Rhode Island Rams is Curtis Briggs, looking for redemption after a solid performance last night despite going home with the loss. The Foster Rhode Island product standing at 6'0", 170 in his junior year of college hockey for the Rams, trying to pick up a big bounce-back victory. And we'll meet the Seawolves starter in a few moments. Rhode Island able to get this one into enemy territory. Malfetto trying to escape out of harm's way. Here comes Vezov with speed, entering the zone with a chance. Brings this off the post. And immediately in this game, Stony Brook almost strikes first. But Vezov nailing the iron right there. Mancini finds Vezov. Vezov dangling, cuts in, can't finish strong there on the backhand. He continues with the possession before he gets forced out by Rhode Island. Vezov, a near eventful shift right there as he tries to put one back on the board for Stony Brook. Comes into this weekend with the second most points on the team with 12 in the first few games played. 12 in 6 games played. Vezov second in points for the Seawolves, right behind Gregory Barnich. As Christian Malik is able to locate this one, finds Mancini, who delivers it up ahead. Rhode Island having trouble settling things down. Now they find some room to get back into the zone. The Rams with a chance, pushed aside by Sullivan. A big chance on the rebound, goes wide again. University of Rhode Island not able to connect, twice in the zone. Cirilli sends this around the wall. Another save made by Sullivan. This one goes out of play. Last night, Scott Barnico picked up his first home victory of the season. Now it's Thomas Sullivan's turn to replicate that here tonight. The senior and the former Binghamton Junior goaltender in net for the Seawolves, and he makes another stop. Using his 6'4", 185 stature in between the pipes for Stony Brook here tonight. Sullivan in 4 games played last year picked up 3 wins, only accounting for 1 loss. Only 1 loss. A solid outing for him during the ESCHL championship season campaign as we get another whistle to stop play. Connor Dempsey on the ice for the first time tonight. Malfetto. This is Dominic Molfetto, making his first appearance in a couple of weeks. Try to make some magic here tonight, alongside his brother Eddie in the lineup. This one gets intercepted in the neutral zone, and the first penalty of the night is committed by Spencer Boris, tripping the call. 2 minutes, and the Seawolves penalty kill units will get an early workout here and try to kill off this Rhode Island power play. University of Rhode Island coming into this weekend with 10 power play goals as they try to pick up their 11th of the season. They got an early chance here going for them, but against a very formidable penalty kill unit, which has succeeded many times, not only in denying their opponents with scoring chances, but also converting on shorthanded goals. You got two of the most dominant penalty killers on the ice who can make an impact here with Nestepny and Edwards. Nestepny, glove save made by Briggs, who holds up. So first shot on their shorthanded units, or first shot shorthanded for Stony Brook. It's Briggs making his first stop, first big stop here. Now Jesse Edwards scored a big goal last night, trying to put his team on top here, shorthanded. Chance in front, save made as URI comes to life inside the Seawolves zone. For now, it's quick puck movement before Sullivan makes the catch in his glove. Thomas Sullivan already making his presence felt inside the crease here tonight. A multitude of stops early on here in the first. Molfetto galloping. Chips this one up ahead. Can't connect with Zerilli as University of Rhode Island is down to their final 55 seconds on the man advantage. URI trekking back into familiar territory. Crisscrossing, no penalty called here as one player descended to the ice. Stony Brook able to come up with the possession again. Matt Minerva calling for the feed, or pardon me, Zerilli in this case. Minerva, I do not believe, is in the lineup tonight. He wasn't in the lineup last night. So we'll see what the status is for him. And here comes Brandon Avezov, charging in on the backhand, save made again by Briggs with 10 seconds to go on the man advantage for the Rams. Andrew Mancini, he'll be one that is looking for a big impact goal here tonight. Nearly had one last night. And if you can recall, it was Jacob Kelly involved in a moment that he wished he could get back. But I'm sorry, Jacob Kelly, that is going to be featured on this week's highlights. As the giveaway is made. Another chance, Stony Brook closing in, and this one couldn't be stuffed home. Pepe on the ice for the first time tonight. Sends it across. Mancini back to McDermott. Those two play catch. Pepe playing this one off the wall again. Driven hard to the ice there that time by Fagan. McDermott recollecting. Finds Avezov. Avezov trying to navigate through pressure. Draws the penalty. This will be the first power play of the night for Stony Brook. Sullivan to the bench. Mancini. Seawolves trying to make quick work here for the 6-on-5. Still with the possession. And now we get the first foul penalty of the night against Rhode Island. This will bring Ethan Cordero, the 5'8", 150 freshman from Cranston, Rhode Island, to the box for 2 minutes. And this Seawolves power play is brought to you by our good friends at Stony Brook Orthopedics. Stony Brook still in pursuit of only their sixth, or would be their sixth power play goal of the season. They enter this weekend series with only 5 accounted for so far this season in 6 games played. Edwards walking over, finds Malfetto. Malfetto to Edwards. Edwards. Those who play catch. Edwards finds McDermott, and he releases the shot over the net. Edwards comes up with it back to McDermott. Stepney across one-timer. McDermott 0 for 2 in this sequence. So that one had a little more power on it. Stepney from the top. Save made. Rebound. Couldn't be come up by the Seawolves. Cormanick. Edwards dishes it back to McDermott. McDermott playing this one with caution as he drives in, finds it across, but no one able to stuff it home in front of the nets. A big clear there by the Rams. Yet a new fresh pair of legs on the ice. A familiar force on the back ends, led by the captain, Mike Costello. Pepe trying to locate it near the half wall. This time Rams can't clear it out. Barnich across. Kozitsky. Save made from point-blank range by Briggs. A huge chance there for the Seawolves on the power play. And James Kozitsky, the 6'1", 190 freshman and former Westchester Express product, almost striking while the iron is hot there. So 20 seconds left on the penalty against Cordero, and Stony Brook trying to get back in the right direction here and light a spark in the power play unit. Mancini sending that wide as one player got dumped to the ice in front. That was the captain, Pepe. Can it be stuffed home? No, it cannot. And we get a disruption in front. A disturbance in front of the nets. We'll see if this results in any penalties. It doesn't look like that will be the case. You saw Pepe get shoved to the ice, and one could say Curtis Briggs didn't appreciate being ambushed right there. And him, and along with his Rams teammates, let Pepe know he did not appreciate being in close quarters of the Seawolves captain. So emotions coming into fruition early on here in the first, as this one trickles wide of the cage after it bounced off a few sticks in front. Back to 5-on-5, Mancini from the top. This one trickles off a stick in front. Mancini gets it from Avezov. Trying to chip this one further ahead. Avezov with a big play. Can't connect as Barnich trying to preserve this zone possession for the Seawolves. But Avezov in tow as he got checked from behind. Head coach Chris Garofalo wanted a call, but that will not be the case. Questionable, definitely. Weitzel bomber, save made by Thomas Sullivan. Davin Van de Zilver angry with Weitzel bomber as Gregory Barnich displays his argument towards the official, his emotions towards the head official as to why the call was not made in the corner, with Brandon Avezov on the receiving end of a defensive play that normally would be called a penalty, and if you can recall from last night's broadcast, from my good pal Trevor Bognani, he mentioned that officials here on Long Island, they run a tight ship, and sometimes that tight ship can hit an iceberg, and with questionable calls, missed calls and all. We'll see if this affects the Seawolves in any way, as we have a mad scrum in front and nothing beyond that. Eddie Malfetto involved there. He tries to keep the puck out of the nets against the alternate captain and another Long Island native in Thomas Fagan. Swan song season for him. He's probably looking to make this season the most memorable of all, as this chance from the top is stopped again in front by Sullivan. Long Island native, former East Islip chief, traveled for the East Coast Wizards. Fagan in the lineup again tonight. And another player to keep an eye out on, also a Long Island native, in Ryan Godfrey, who made his return lasting with a big celebration last night, scoring his first at the college level, and one could say home ice, on home ice. So we have our first big hit of the night, and it was laid on the Long Island kid Godfrey. This one gets spun in front, and Sullivan almost played that one. And now the Seawolves take aim at Rhode Island back in the zone. Good play by the Rams to make the cancellation, and back in they come with a head full of steam. Rhode Island can't charge up there. Big block made by Boris. Centering chance in front. This one gets lofted in there, and Sullivan with yet another stop. Just a little under 10 minutes remaining here in the first. The boys are tired, and there is the clear proof of that, as head coach Chris Garofalo pushing these guys to their absolute limits to keep this game in the hands of Stony Brook, as they try to remain undefeated for another weekend before they go off on the road for another ACHA divisional clash. Or conference clash, ESCHL divisional clash. Boris taking the task heavily there in the corner. Everyone trying to dig it free in the scrum. Zarrilli able to get it, as Malik takes a hit along the glass. That one couldn't be stuffed in front by Rhode Island's Bellavoine. He too picked up a goal last night, as this one gets shot out of play off a stick in front. James Bellavoine, former Western New England hockey product, in his third season with the Rams, standing at 6'1" from Smithfield, Rhode Island. Back to the point, Costello on net, and another deflection out of play. Backhand try, another stop made in front by Sullivan. Stony Brook trying to keep it out of harm's way, as this one gets knocked out of play, and we'll do it again inside the Seawolves zone, as Thomas Sullivan is getting his work cut out for him here tonight. Who wants it? And another whistle. Scott Barnikel, not in net tonight, but he is definitely enjoying this one for sure. Having a good time, hanging out with his goaltending partner, Matvey Kazakov. As Chris Garofalo elects to go with three goalie tandem this season, instead of the usual two goalie tandem, or in most cases just relying on the starter based on consistency and the success that Kazakov bestowed last year en route to the Seawolves championship, as Rhode Island trying to get back in the zone, which they do. There's a chance for the Rams, backhand try, and this one just misses off the stick of Kanazet. Off the boards, dumped ahead. Brandon Avezov able to beat the icing this time. So he looks for a man open. Drops it down low. Pepe will move to a new location to receive it before dishing it back to the point. Mancini elects not to fire it. And this leads to the clear by Rhode Island. Pepe taking the task. Brandon Avezov knocked down. Gets right back up. Malfetto from the top. Save made in front by Briggs as traffic built up inside the goal mouth. Avezov. Now Pepe. Everyone converging in the end boards trying to get a hold of the possession. Brandon Avezov stumbling as he retrieves his stick. Sent across the ice. Stony Brook with a big keep. Malfetto. Dempsey controlling in front. Big glove save made by Curtis Briggs. Robbery in front of the nets. He had a few big moments last night, but that for sure has been his best save so far on Long Island this weekend. We are in familiar territory with this game knotted up at 0, just how it was back in the first period last night. And the Seawolves entered the second period up 1-0. We'll see if that is replicated in this matchup, or if Rhode Island will be on the other end of the spectrum leading into the second. This one gets lofted out of the zone, and offsides is signaled, but Rhode Island pulling back for a moment. Malfetto. Dominic Malfetto coughs it up to Ryan Godfrey. A little bit of a Suffolk County High School Hockey League battle going on, as Godfrey has had his fair share of playing against Malfetto a couple of seasons ago, when Smithtown Hauppauge and Ward Melville went head-to-head numerous times on this very ice. Now it's Nestepny. With a long toss in, Michael Lacossi, Sachem Products, an eventful return to Long Island alongside Ryan Godfrey, each going home with a point last night in the loss against Stony Brook. Lacossi actually almost scored on the play that Godfrey happened to score on, but he takes an assist instead. Back the other way. Nestepny just wide over the net. Malik. Christian Malik fighting off attackers. As Stony Brook tries to get on the board first. Big pad save in front by Briggs, as this one is cleared out again by Rhode Island. Malik trying to juke away from defenders in front. So really, now Malik again with it, loses his stick against Rhode Island's defense judge. We'll have more on the Judge brothers soon as Nestepny finds space to move forward. Fess, and a save again off the pad of Briggs. As Fess gets back in position. Knocks this one off the wall. Cormanick not allowing Rhode Island to get past the neutral zone. It's relinquished back to the Rams. Tossed off the boards. Both teams trading quick possessions here. We close in on the final few minutes of play in the first. Boris. This one gets sent along the wall. And now Stony Brook remaining in control again. Boris picking it up, galloping, and sending the chance wide. Spencer Boris trying to make it 2 goals 2 days in a row. Cormanick dangling. Cormanick driving in. Can't finish strong there on the forehands. McDermott. And Stony Brook can't keep it alive in the zone. As this one gets sent in by Mancini. Cormanick had trouble locating it, and here comes URI back in enemy territory. Edwards with the possession now as Stony Brook makes another big cancellation against Rhode Island's offensive unit. Tossed in deep by Mancini, it stays in play. As we embark on the 2 final minutes of this first period. Mancini finds an option ahead. Here come the Seawolves, closing in on Briggs. McDermott from the top, save made, run, rebound, score! And now we have fireworks after the goal. It is getting nasty in front of the nets. Everyone coming together as the Seawolves strike first with just a minute left here in the first period. Devin Pepe enraged with the Rams as the thermostat comes blowing open after the goal in front. And now we have a discussion amongst the men in stripes as we saw practically pretty much everyone involved in the corner. It started out with, well, we don't have the luxury of using instant replay, unfortunately, but from my recollection, it started out with the shove in front of the net, which believed to be against Pepe. I'm trying to think who scored, but that is what initiated the eruption in front. The shove by Pepe to the ice. Pepe got back up, went right after whoever shoved him in front. Briggs, who we kind of got a glimpse of him not being appreciative towards the Seawolves before in the first period, coming in close. He retaliated out of frustration from giving up the goal. And it looks like Brandon Avezov is the one that picks up the tally. And here's Brandon Avezov almost dangling his way fully to the goal in just minutes after picking up the first goal of the contest. So to summarize, Brandon Pepe shoved to the ice. Rhode Island, or he retaliates, and then it just became a full-on schmozzle with everyone converging, and the goalie, Curtis Briggs, letting his emotions get to him. Fortunately for him, he did not get an extra penalty as he was throwing some blockers in front, and now it's only a matter of time if one of these Rhode Island players makes their presence felt in an aggressive way towards Thomas Sullivan. I think Sully can handle his own if that was the case. Wouldn't you say? Here's Gallagher. Up ahead, Barnage trying to squeeze his way through traffic. Judge trying to get past the defense, and he's in alone. Judge, breakaway, just wide of the net. And it may have gotten a piece of Thomas Sullivan in the process. Here's Boris, galloping back in the zone. Boris controlling, delaying, wraparound try, can't stop it home. And with 7 seconds remaining, the Seawolves will get another face-off opportunity inside University of Rhode Island zone. .25 seconds remaining on the offsetting penalties after the scrum in front of the nets, as Gallagher fires this one just wide of the cage. Edwards trying to locate it in the corner, and this should do it, and it will. After one period of play, Stony Brook leads 1-0. Brandon Avezov with the late period goal for his 6th of the season, accumulating his points total to now 13. And with the Zamboni about to come onto the ice, we'll take an intermission break before we get things all set all over again for the second period. See you soon, ladies and gentlemen. Second period, just moments away from puck drop as we approach the next 20 minutes of play. Seawolves coming into the second period, up 1-0, similar to last night's game. So they repeat that task, as well as leading in shots on goal 17-10. The only difference we saw compared to last night's matchup was the feistiness, as the goal scored by Stony Brook did not come without tempers, and boy, I would say it was more than just a verbiage disagreement. Everyone throwing a few shots at each other. Didn't really see any punches thrown, fortunately, so that probably eliminated a chance of one of these teams or players that was involved of receiving a major penalty. But however, the two players that were involved for the most part, Devin Pepe, younger brother of Brendan, former captain of Stony Brook, as well as Kevin Kenizet. Those two remaining in the box for the next 17 seconds. Gregory Barnich taking the draw here. 4-on-4 hockey to kick off the second period. Gallagher trying to stuff this one out of harm's way. Here's Michael Gawinski flipping it onto the stick of Barnich. Barnich had trouble navigating through the zone. And Michael Akossi will try to generate something on the back end here as Avezov almost hunts it down from Costello. The Long Island defensive pairing on the ice for University of Rhode Island. Rams trekking back into familiar territory. Gallagher forces his man against the boards. Everyone converging in the end boards there. Gallagher trying to spike this one out of harm's way. Barnich down low in the zone there too. Costello fakes the drive, sends it on net. Save made off the blocker of Sullivan. Gallagher and Gawinski. A unique pairing on the back end here. Gawinski, normally a forward. But that might be Spencer Boris, too, who wears number 18, and all indications point to that being the case. Avezov can't get by the defense there, as Devin Pepe is able to hold off while getting dragged to the ice by Kevin Kenizet. Van de Zilver trying to flip this one further the other way. It gets knocked off the glass. Avezov trying to come up with the possession. Malfetto settling things down. Davin Van de Zilver. Cormanek. Van de Zilver off the post! Just inches from it being a 2-0 game. As Kozitsky tries to hold the line at the top, Kenizet can't nudge it away from Kozitsky as we get a whistle, and it's a penalty for interference against the Seawolves. They take their second penalty of the game, which is going to put Rhode Island on the power play. University of Rhode Island still in search of their 11th power play goal of the season. Well, Costello positioned at the points. as the Long Island pairing tries to make an impact here and knot this thing up here in the second. Costello steps into one, save made by Sullivan, rebound, score! One of the top points getters of this Rams squad, Ethan Cordero, knocks home the rebound, and we are level at 1. Power play goal number 11 for the Rams. Stony Brook will attempt to respond as this one gets knocked off the draw back into Rams territory. Trying to hunt it down, Dempsey, as Stony Brook finds themselves threatened for the first time by an opponent this weekend, as not once during play have them and Rhode Island been tied this year, as this one gets blockered away by Sullivan. Christian Malik. Spencer Boris looking to ignite. Or pardon me, that's Malfetto. Malik twists this one off the wall, and the Stepney looking to locate it as Fest makes the keep at the half wall. Rhode Island trying to power through the other way. Corey Sabo crushed into the boards by Eddie Malfetto. So the physicality not dying down one bit. Net comes off its moorings as Rhode Island almost breaks the tie there. Definitely a different scenario being played out with this game tied up at 1 and Rhode Island almost crashing home the 2-1 goal there, as Ryan Godfrey is back on the ice with his high school hockey teammates in tow. Michael Lacossi at the point. Those two will look to try to connect once again, as they did last night in this same very period. Thomas Sullivan positioned and ready. Lacossi at the back. Lacossi. Here's Godfrey. Godfrey having trouble settling it down as this one gets knocked out of play. Lacossi, former Sachem Hockey Club member. Ryan Godfrey, as I mentioned before, played for the Ward Melville Patriots. Made a very lasting impact in that organization, leading his team in numerous goal-scoring categories during his high school playing days. This one gets sent in front, similar to last night. Godfrey from a distance, nearly getting that one to be punched home. Godfrey in the corner. Can't get it from Boris. Boris trying to extricate from the pressure. Big drive by Lacossi. Got blocked in front as Barnich flips this one out of harm's way. Stony Brook able to exit out of the zone, but Lacossi has control of it. Costello up ahead. Godfrey. Offsides. Just that little shift over cost Godfrey a zone entry there. Had he just stayed on the path he was on before trying to cut to the other side, then maybe he might have had a chance to unleash. But that is not the case, so he'll have to wait a couple minutes after during his next shift. Luke Judge, along with brother Roman Judge. A nice Long Beach, New York duo. Brothers in arm as they try to make an impact here in quote-unquote enemy territory. De Palma in front. Stony Brook can't connect there. It stays in the zone. McDermott spins it down low. Zerilli back in front, can't connect with his intended target. And here it comes. The Rams, big save. Again, Sullivan, as Dominic Malfetto takes a hit up high. Somehow not called with the official right there in sight. Rhode Island try to take advantage of this opportunity in front. They can't capitalize there that time. Back to the point it goes. Chance from the top, save made by Sullivan. Another stop accounted for by the Seawolves netminder, Thomas Sullivan, as McDermott tries to pinch this one out of the zone. It stays alive off the stick of Weichselbaumer and sent it wide. Turnaround try on the rebound from a tight angle wouldn't go for Rhode Island as McDermott tries to cautiously exit the zone. Mancini knocks this one off the wall, can't get it out. Another chance, ricochets off a leg in front. Rhode Island getting numerous opportunities in this sequence. None of them passing Sullivan at the moment. Stony Brook able to finally exhale and get that one out of the zone. But it's a short exhale as Rhode Island back in a hurry. McDermott sent ahead. Cormanick touches this one further into the zone. Line change commences for Chris Garofalo's squad as Stony Brook tries to remain in enemy territory. Cordero couldn't loft this one past the Seawolves as everyone begins to converge once again, jousting away at the possession, trying to dig it free along the half wall. Stony Brook comes up with it, and it gets sauced right back in by Fess. Chipped further out of the zone. Van de Zover will win this race to the puck easily, and Stony Brook will try to reset cleanly. Fess being guarded right there by Fagan. Rhode Island not allowing Stony Brook to enter the neutral zone that time. Fess being hounded aggressively by Fagan. This one gets chipped across. Edwards couldn't advance. Back in comes Rhode Island, another opportunity. Warded off. Jesse Edwards hustling back, making the play. William Cormanick can't connect there. Off the boards. Everyone trying to dig it, and play is stopped. This dangerous trio of Barnich, Pepe, and Vezov back on the ice, trying to pick up their second goal of the night. As a line as this one has to be collected by Vezov, and icing is, no, it's not icing, cross-checking signaled. So I had to take a moment to see what was the reason for that stoppage, and then I looked on over to the right of me, and Jason Briggs was already out of his nets. So it's the third power play of the day for Rhode Island. So far, the penalty kill unit has not lived up to its billing compared to the weeks that we saw so far this season, in which they have picked up shorthanded goals and successfully killed off penalties, with Rhode Island converting in just a few moments in their second trip on the man advantage tonight. Here's another chance. Can they put it home? No, they cannot. Everyone coming together, but nothing breaks out this time. So that will be it for Barnich and Vezov on this 4-on-4. As this will bring back out Zerilli and Connor Dempsey. Meanwhile, the two captains, Costello and Luke Judge, get prepared for this face-off draw for Rhode Island. Here's Judge trying to find it as this one gets knocked off the glass for another clear by the Seawolves. James Bellavoine looking to pick up his second consecutive goal in head-to-head play against the Seawolves. Off the boards, long race in for the possession. Couldn't be won by Engelson. Rhode Island in the zone as they close in on the goal. Wakasi on the ice. Now he gets back into his location at the point, waiting to strike when the iron is hot. Another play down in front, and that one couldn't be pounded home that time by Bellavoine. Takes a run at Zerilli for good measure. Down to the final 45 seconds of this power play. Briggs getting together there with Dempsey. Do not believe there was any malintent on the tangle up behind the goal. So we'll have another draw. This one taking place all the way back in Rhode Island zone. Jesse Edwards. Familiar territory for him. So tries to pick up another goal against Rhode Island. This one would be huge coming on the penalty kill unit, as last night he picked up the goal during 5-on-5 play. Rhode Island, another chance, score! Two for two on the man advantage. And Dylan Weichselbaumer gives the Rams their first lead of the weekend. It was only a matter of time before he put one in the back of the nets for URI against Stony Brook. Came into this matchup with 6 goals, or he came into this weekend with 6 goals. Now he's got his 7th as he tries to climb on top for Rhode Island in the individual points race. Another chance in front. This one gets nullified. Another opportunity denied as we have a tie-up right there inside the zone. Back in comes Nestepny. Nestepny held off there. Finds Edwards, who can't convert on the backhand as Rhode Island survives another sequence inside their zone. Stony Brook looking to respond. Cormanick able to get by. Cormanick roughed up in the end boards there. And icing is signaled. Dylan Weichselbaumer, team leader in points and goals. Now over 10 points in 10 games played. So similar to Gregory Barnich, he is registering a point per game, although it's not at the level and intensity as Barnich, who leads his team with 7 goals, 8 assists, and 15 points in just 6 games played, or now 7 being with the last night's game taking place. Here he is in game 8, trying to continue that trend in a big way. Vander's over from the top as Pepe lined up for the tip in front. Avezov knocks his man off, the puck down low. Pepe trying to find some space and deal it back to the point. Pepe being hounded there. Pepe going on an adventure. Couldn't slide it forward as this one gets cleared out all the way down for icing by the Rams. Just a little under 10 minutes to go here in the second. Different story being played out right now with Rhode Island in command of a 2-1 lead. If there's anything that head coach Chris Garofalo doesn't want to see, it's his team finding themselves back in an ugly penalty situation. And ironically, it seemed like that was a benefit to the Seawolves, and here tonight, that is not the case. It is something they're trying to avoid ever so, minute by minute, with this relentless URI Rams team converting already on 2 power plays. I have to make a correction. It wasn't 2 for 2 on the man advantage. It was more like 2 for 3. So they don't go perfect on the power play here tonight, but make no mistake, folks, it doesn't diminish how solid they've been in this outing compared to last night, in which they fell to the Seawolves by 2 goals. This one goes out of play. With those 2 power play goals by the Rams, they now have 12 as they continue to climb on up above on the power play goals category list in the ACHA. At the moment, they're nowhere close to being the top power play goals getters, but that number is only going to rise as the season goes on. DePalma finds Kozitsky. Kozitsky fires, save made by Briggs, and he doesn't allow the puck to get free, as it happened multiple times last night. Luckily for him, it's a different site as he tries to preserve the lead that has been established by his team here in the second. 2 unanswered goals. First time we've seen that this season first time since opening the home opener against NYU that the Seawolves have experienced that. And that game saw the Seawolves prevailing, winning by a final of 3-2, led by the ever so dangerous Gregory Barnich. Quick line changes being made here. One of them being done by Rhode Island. Costello. As Rhode Island tries to forge ahead, I should say, is this one. Going to be connected by Engelson. Malik trying to locate it. Kozitsky got nailed to the ice, and he took out Matthew DePalma with him inadvertently. This one will go for icing. Insult to injury right there. No players injured on the play, though, as this moves Stony Brook back into their own zone and away from enemy territory where they are trying to get back in. It's worth noting, Stony Brook, one of 2 teams remaining in the ACHA division, yes, the ACHA, to have an undefeated record to start the 2022-2023 campaign. So for the first time in what seems like in a long time, this Seawolves team finds themselves in a desperate need of a big goal to get back in this contest, as URI has shown that when they're awarded with power plays, they are not going to let those things go to waste. Capitalizing on 2 tonight. 12 on the year. Weichselbaumer got tangled up down low. Stony Brook trying to answer back the other way. Malfetto slamming on the brakes, creating some separation. Cirilli gets it back. Dempsey was held up in the end boards there. There's another chance the other way. Zachary Risatelli sending it wide as Weichselbaumer wasn't there in time to get a hold of the possession. Chipped on ahead. Weichsel Bomber sends this one in deep. Sullivan can't play that one behind the goal. Malfetto able to shake off one, but it's turned over again, and Rhode Island still hammering away, showing their relentless forechecking. One-timer, driven wide. Soaring over a bunch of bodies in front. Fagan muscled into the boards there by Malfetto. Tetrio in front, trying to deliver. Rhode Island staying alive for a moment as play is dead. And the reason why for the halt of play is a penalty committed once again by Rhode Island. And it's their first in a long while, which puts Stony Brook in prime position to tie this thing up. And our friends at Stony Brook Orthopedics would love to see that. This power play is sponsored by them. Stony Brook Orthopedics. Avezov. Mancini. Avezov, Mancini playing catch near the top. Avezov fires right into the glove of Briggs as Devin Pepe jousts with Michael Costello. Slashing was the call against Fagan, the Long Island native from East Islip, New York. And the 222s will spar on the draw here. Pepe and Luke Judge, another Long Island born and bred from Long Beach, New York, the former Marine product. As Mancini is denied on another big glove stop, and now we have another disturbance in front. And once again, it's Michael Costello in the middle of it. And we'll see if this results in an extra penalty, as he is not letting the official restrain him. Now we're seeing whether or not this is going to result in another infraction against Rhode Island. Head coach Chris Garofalo, it is absolutely unleashing and letting these officials have it. He is unleashing like never before, raining hell on them. As this remains only a 5-on-4 advantage for Stony Brook. Avezov. Mancini. Avezov. Battle in front between Pepe and the defenseman for URI, Barcelo. Barnich just sent it wide. Briggs was ready with the high rising glove hand to try to catch it out of the air. Avezov again at the top. Looking. Controlling. Mancini. Decides not to fire it. Kozitsky. Mancini waiting. Gives it over to Avezov. Mancini firing. And this one nearly gets tipped in front. Just misconnects for the Seawolves defenseman. Mancini fakes the drive, sends it over to Barnich. Barnich steps into one. Save made by Briggs. And play is stopped again, but not without Devin Pepe and Curtis Briggs. Joust, and now everything is unraveling in front. Tempers boiling over once again. And it began with... Oh, this thing is not over by any means. You had a feeling this was where it was leading up to. Chris Garofalo irate. As the referees are starting to lose control of this matchup. Definitely not safe for work verbiage being traded by both of these squads. So now we have a long conference amongst the men in stripes. So once again, it's Curtis Briggs involved in the ugliness. Has a little bit of chirping resulted in another massive scrum. And this one did involve punches being thrown, so we'll see if this results in heavy ramifications against the two combatants that were involved, which happened to be Ronan Judge and Kozitsky of Stony Brook. And one could say those two have had familiar battles on the ice. Both former travel hockey products, Westchester Express and PAL Junior Islanders, known to have quite the intense matchups over the years, in which involves a lot of tempers and high emotions. So now we await for the penalties to be distributed as they try to figure out who gets what and how much is going to be going on the board for both of these teams. So once again, Devin Pepe involved with the Rhode Island netminder. And then everything just came unglued in front of the net, with Kozitsky throwing punches against Ronan Judge. Ironically, neither Pepe or Briggs, from what it looks like, is being assessed a penalty. The two instigators of the most recent disagreement amongst these two squads safe from going to the penalty box. The referee has to explain the situation to University of Rhode Island head coach. All right, so we have one player being shown other than Thomas Fagan on the board in the penalty department. Ronan Judge has 2 minutes, for which we believe is going to be for roughing. Same is going to probably go for Kozitsky. That's if a 5-minute major doesn't show up on the board here. But because his number is still waiting to be shown, that unfortunately might be the case, which is definitely not what Stony Brook wants to have by any means, with the way University of Rhode Island has been playing on the power play. It's a full house inside the Rams penalty box, with 3 players in the roster tonight's. we'll try to relay all the penalties that were sorted out in the best way we can. So the power play continues for the Seawolves after a 5-minute interruption, as this one gets sent wide. The rebound off the boards going to be picked up cleanly. Malfetto across one-timer. Another big stop made. Briggs recovering masterfully, playing in goal. Another drive, and this one gets shanked on there by Malfetto. Was in the right spot, but didn't deliver how he wanted it. As the battling has not cooled down one bit. We saw Costello getting into it. Jesse Edwards in front, save made! The big toe coming to life for Curtis Briggs as he denies the Seawolves from tying things up here in the second. Here's McDermott trying to power his way through back in the zone as this one gets sent in deep. Wafted out again by Rhode Island for another clear. Oh, little bit of friendly fire for Rhode Island as they committed the recent line change, or the most recent line change of Ezov back in the zone. Barnich, final minute of play has been reached in the second. Barnich, Mancini at the top. Hesitated right there, and this puts Stony Brook in a little bit of trouble. Down to their final second on the man advantage. Back to 5-on-5 hockey as this one gets sent wide by Avezov. Another chance in front. Deflected in there, but couldn't be put home. Weichsel Bomber trying to escape out of enemy territory as this one is knocked away. And here comes Fagan. Fagan crisscrossing back into the zone. Sends a shot over the net. Sullivan back in ready position. Wakasi at the top. Springs this one towards the goal. Couldn't be deflected home. Final 10 seconds. Avezov flips this one in deep. Dempsey. And this should eliminate all the time, which it does. But not without more sparring. This time between Brandon Avezov and Michael Costello. Or no, that was Zachary Rissatelli, the hand in Connecticut product, as the second period finally concludes with a different score. Rhode Island up 2-1. We'll take an intermission break and be back to try to wrap things up and all together for the third. See you soon. So we are back, ready to drop the puck on this third period of play, and Stony Brook trails by a goal. However, they continue to lead in shots on goal, 29-21, as the numbers continue to grow ever so minute by minute. And if there's one thing that's also growing, it's the emotions, the intensity, and of course, the tempers of these two teams. And we'll see if this escalates into something bigger than what we have just seen in the first two periods of play. Multiple scrums breaking out. We saw one happen right after the goal scored by Stony Brook late in the first, and just recently we had another disagreement between, yet again, the captain of the Seawolves, Devin Pepe, and Rhode Island's netminder Curtis Briggs, resulting in a second fracas breaking out in which James Kozitsky was tangled up rather intensely with Rhode Island's Ronan Judge. And let's just say Mrs. Kozitsky did not appreciate that, as I had the fair share of talking with her. And it's always good to have the parents in the stands looking out for their kids. Even just because they're adults and they're playing at the college level doesn't mean there won't be your kids, as this one. I don't think that made sense, but just because they're at the college level doesn't mean their parents won't care, because in the end they do. They are the reason why all these kids are here playing the game they love. So for one, I appreciate the passion from Mrs. Kozitsky. Mama Bear at her best. And beforehand, we just saw one player literally chop another player's stick out of their hand, and somehow the officials let that one slide. So I think we have an idea of how this period is going to be exactly played out. A lot of things are just going to let breathe by the officials. Unless, of course, someone does cross a forbidding line, as Rhode Island sauces this one back in deep. One man remains in the penalty box still, and it's URI's Ronan Judge. Him and Luke, older brother of another Judge. Yes, there's another one. Quinn Judge. Shout out to the young fella who will soon play varsity hockey in the New York Islanders High School Hockey League for the Long Beach Marines. Judge had a crucial game in which he scored a big goal in the championship series against Belmore Merrick in the JV level. So shout out to Quinn Judge and all the players from the New York Islanders High School Hockey League. I'll see you guys very soon for the start of this upcoming season in November. Right now, it's Stony Brook trying to handle business and get themselves in this contest, or back in this contest. This one could have been nudged on forward by Risatelli. Fagan, Costello delivering the boom there against Cormanick. Hit's not dying down one bit. Fagan. Here's Cormanick. Boris with a chance, and it ricochets off a stick and goes out of play. Off the draw, that was Malik trying to jab it home. Everyone coming together yet again in front of the goal mouth. To Palma. Save made by Briggs. Rebound. Carrying towards the net, but it couldn't be put home. So Stony Brook getting numerous chances during this sequence. None of them getting past Briggs, however. More battling along the half wall. Mancini can't keep it in on the catching glove hand. McDermott will try to reset cleanly here. Cordero not allowing that to happen. McDermott now a little bit of space and time to deliver it up ahead. Patiently looking out for someone open. It's mind games for the time being by McDermott against Rhode Island. Now Stony Brook is able to pursue the zone once again to Palma. Now Mancini trying to jab it. And this one gets forced away by the Rhode Island as Malfetto tosses this one all the way down to the end boards for icing. Back on the ice for University of Rhode Island, Ryan Godfrey. As Godfrey, actually he was just on the ice, so now he's off the ice. This chance couldn't be connected there off the draw by Bellavoine. To Palma, racing in after it, trying to get a hold of the possession. Crashing in there as University of Rhode Island tries to play keep away. Stony Brook saving it in the zone. So that was Judge, Luke Judge, being twisted off the puck there by Zarilli. A conference breaking out here along the half wall. Now Wakasi will go back and recollect. Wakasi settling things down in the back end. Malfetto fires. Big save there. Or no, that just missed for Malfetto. Looked like Briggs got a piece of it as he tried to headbutt that one away from the goal. Luke Judge trying to escape out of harm's way. Wakasi with him. Engelson driven hard in front of the Rhode Island bench by Davin Van de Zilver. Luckily, Engelson didn't go head over heels. Van de Zilver from the top couldn't get that one past the net. As this one gets lofted out of the zone, and it finds the stick of Dylan Weichselbaumer. Loses steam there, gives it in front. Save made as Sullivan stops play. It's worth noting a lot of these scrums have only happened inside Rhode Island zone, where Thomas Sullivan has been calm, cool, and collected despite his team being down by a goal, as he has not let the emotions get the best of him and hasn't acted aggressive towards Rhode Island after these whistles. So good on Sullivan for keeping his composure as Brandon Avezov gets taken to task heavily in the partition. So the hits continue to escalate here in the third period. The temperature only rising by the minute. Fess galloping back to take a hold of the opportunity, gets driven hard from behind, and they'll draw the penalty. A vicious check in the end boards. An absolutely nasty check thrown there by Zachary Riccitelli. It's for elbowing. Luckily, Fess back on the bench under his own power, and he'll be attended to by the team training staff, the team doctor in this case. all signs are pointing to him being okay, and we'll keep his status up. We'll give you a status update in the coming moments. Stony Brook, 4th power play of the night, and it begins with a chance right there by Malfetto. So the Seawolves trying to capitalize here on yet another man advantage brought to you by Stony Brook Orthopedics. So somehow, after all of that, and with how intense and how much power and force was bestowed in the hit being delivered by Rissatelli, he somehow only gets away with a 2-minute minor. If that was any other level, or if this was played in somewhere else, not on Long Island, that would be definitely a major penalty. Maybe that has to do with the fact that Fess got back up right away, even though from our vantage point it looks like it could have been a lot worse. That is not the case, luckily. As Stony Brook down to their final minute on the man advantage, Malfetto nearly catching Briggs off guard there with that long distance shot. If there was ever a time to have Matt Minerva dressed up for the Seawolves, it would be for this matchup, with just how everything has been played out so far. Obviously, this is one thing that head coach Chris Garofalo has wanted to avoid, and it's being involved in the extracurriculars and getting themselves on the penalty kill. Right now, they have half a minute left on the man advantage as they try to pick up their 6th power play goal of the season. 0 for 3 tonight on the power play, as they are about to run out of the time on the man advantage here. And this will make the Seawolves go 0 for 4 on the man advantage tonight. Back to 5-on-5 hockey, as Avezov tries to break in unhinged. Back comes Barnich with a good back-checking play, as Sullivan plays this on the stick of the returning Kozitsky. Kozitsky in the midst of all the chaos in the second period. On the bench again, as the shift was rather uneventful for him here in the third. Back in comes Rhode Island. And a hard check late in the end boards by Avezov. No call there, as the net comes off its moorings. Brandon Avezov still chirping with Kevin Kenizet. For someone as talented and highly skilled as Avezov, it's very surprising to see him show that other side of him in regular season competition. He is someone that head coach Chris Garofalo does not want to see in the penalty box, that is for sure. That's a reason why he's on the first line, just based on his talent. Is this chance swallowed up by Sullivan? And the talent has lived up to its billing so far this season, with Avezov accounting for 6 goals in 6 games played, or 6 goals now in 8 games played. So they already got through 1 of 2 matchups this weekend against Rhode Island on home ice. More battling in front. This one hits the outside of the net, but it stays in play. Cordero trying to twist out of a tough position as Gallagher looks for room to escape. Gallagher Can't nudge it forward out of the zone. Rhode Island, another chance. Big block made on the defensive play by you-know-who, Davin Van de Zilver. Cormanick, curl and drag maneuver as he tries to break free from the pressure in front of him. Cormanick, too many maneuvers, and it takes Stony Brook out of the zone. Just a little under 10 minutes to go here in the third. Seawolves down by 1. Nestepny trekking back towards the net. Nestepny delaying. Nestepny putting on the brakes. Nestepny switching gears, trying to find room to break free as everyone converges in the corner. McDermott looking. Another chance. Save made by Briggs. Another opportunity near the side of the net, canceled out by Rhode Island. McDermott settling things down. However, Zabo is not allowing him to do just that. Mancini plays this one off the wall, while Cossey chips this one back in the zone. McDermott, now Mancini. Oh, Mancini with yet another nasty maneuver to escape from Rhode Island. Mancini again. Stony Brook coming in with another chance, then it misses. Big keep at the top by Malik. McDermott on the other side. DePalma feverishly calling for the feed at the top. DePalma feeds it back to the point. Mancini delays. Mancini under heavy pressure at the point. Mancini curl and drag dangle, trying to find space. Save, no, and yes, it is a save. Hard to tell in the midst of the chaos building up in front, and yet again Curtis Briggs prevails in what could have been a troubling outcome for Rhode Island. However, it's a frustrating, close chance for Stony Brook. Tie up on the draw. Lead feed ahead. Engelson on the rush. Save made by Sullivan, who holds up. Shots on goal still 36-25. Stony Brook leading by 11 in that department. However, they most likely don't care about that whatsoever. They want what means most, as this chance just trickles wide off the draw. Sent back down low as Fest tries to regather it cleanly. He's being hounded by 2 Rhode Island players down low as Stony Brook tries to escape from the zone. Can't make it out far. Fest taking the task along the glass as we get icing. Fess finds Pepe. Pepe can't deliver it forward as Judge lofts it back into the zone. Boris with a quick catching glove hand is able to get it up ahead quickly. Pepe. Stony Brook having trouble entering the zone. Rhode Island pinching their way closer and closer to another goal, and there it was. And Stony Brook right on top of it in a hurry. Another high, hard check to Devin Pepe that somehow does not get called. That is absolutely outrageous. Boris. Now Gallagher trying to send it up further ahead. Malik almost taking a hold of the opportunity as Rhode Island nearly collapsed in the zone. So really pinching in there along the half wall, everyone coming together now trying to kick it free. So really can't dig it back to the point as this one gets cleared out of the zone. Stony Brook chips it right back in. Gallagher lofts this one towards the net, but it goes wide. So really back to get it, icing waved off this time. So really found Malik. Malik couldn't twist it on over. Hard check late on Cordero, and we get another stoppage. You have to wonder when the timeout is going to be called by head coach Chris Garofalo as his team sits behind Rhode Island 2-1, and now we have a brief delay as the head coach for URI is strategizing, trying to get his tired line off the ice for a new, fresh, and energized line pair. Or should I say line trio, defensive pairing. Mancini awaiting at the point, and the save is made quickly again by Briggs. He has just been piling up on the numbers here tonight with numerous saves, thwarting off multiple scoring chances by the Seawolves, and one could say he's lucky that he hasn't been hit with any penalty minutes so far tonight, as the two scrums that we had in this matchup have all been instigated in front or have been escalated because of him. If I had to take a guess what Briggs' favorite player is, him being a goaltender, it's probably Patrick Waugh. Stepney trying to twist this one up ahead. This one gets spiked back into the Seawolves zone. Edwards picking it up in the back end. So we close in on the final 5 minutes of play. Mancini with space to deliver it ahead. Sends this one into the corner of Vezov, not there first. Angled up ahead, and here comes Bellavoine. Bellavoine down in the wing. Fended off there by Mancini. Rhode Island, though, remains in the zone. Another chance, another block. That time off the leg of Malfetto as Pepe tries to push this one up ahead. Vezov trying to dance his way to a big goal. Would be his second one of the night as Barnich gets physical down low. Barnich, centering chance, wouldn't go. Back to the point. Van de Zilver trying to force his way towards the net. Stony Brook having trouble capitalizing in the zone, and this one gets forced out. Vezov calling for the feed as he was waiting up ahead. Stony Brook remaining put on the ice for now. Wexelbomber gets past the defense there as Vezov receives it off the stick of Sullivan. Stony Brook having some difficulty clearing out of the zone as this chance is denied once again by Sullivan. It remains a one-goal game. Vezov pushes this forward. Pepe. Vezov gets to the net, can't stuff it home. A lot of bodies in front, crowding the goal mouth as Vezov gets shoved to the ice, and he draws the penalty, and that is a big one for Stony Brook. Cross-checking is the call, and the Seawolves will go back to the man advantage. Their fifth of the night, and it will be brought to you by Stony Brook Orthopedics. And if there is a perfect time to strategize and call an audible, it's right now for head coach Chris Garofalo, which it looks like he will be doing. A timeout called, and there it is, made by Stony Brook. Well, we've seen plenty of action so far tonight in pretty much every department. Both goalies have been stellar, to say the least. Despite Sullivan giving up 2 goals, he has thwarted off multiple chances. Curtis Briggs, on the other hand, has made some fabulous stops in more ways than one. Had at least 2 I can recall that could have been sure Stony Brook goals, and Briggs said no. And although Briggs has been solid in goal, he has let his emotions get the best of him in some cases, which is a big thing we've been seeing so far tonight. A lot of the intensity peaking minute by minute, with scrums breaking out, physical hockey, some moments where it was beyond physical. And now we'll see if the Seawolves can answer the call here in the witching hour of this 2-game series at home against Rhode Island. Kenizet in the box, everyone trying to dig it free off the draw. 5th power play of the night for Stony Brook. Mancini, Kozitsky, Mancini, Stony Brook looking to unleash here. Mancini, over it goes. Avezov at the point. Mancini to the left of him. Pepe trading spots with Avezov. Mancini fakes the shot. Kozitsky from a tough angle sending it wide. Pepe hustling there to keep it alive in the zone as this one gets sent on in front. Stony Brook resetting again. Another chance at the top. Avezov, Pepe in the slot. Can't deliver the call there. A massive clear for Rhode Island as Stony Brook approaches the final 2 minutes of play, trying to tie things up late. Avezov back in the zone. 1 goal under his belt tonight. Avezov deals it back to the point. Mancini gets it again. One-timer. Blocked in front. Rebound. A scramble. And it gets forced wide. Seawolves coming in close. Barnich can't connect. And it's another big clear by Rhode Island. Mancini. Stony Brook. Final 20 seconds on the man advantage. As we approach the final minute and a half of this hockey game. 5-on-5 hockey in about 5 seconds. And here we go. McDermott. And a near keep there by Avezov as Stony Brook gets forced out. Closing in on the final minute of play. Undefeated record hanging in the balance for the Seawolves. It's been a historic start for them this year as they defend their divisional crown. And here we are. Final minute of play. We've seen some close finishes this season. Will we get another one? Edwards looking out for Thomas Sullivan as he'll rush on to the bench for the extra attacker. It's 6-on-5. Stony Brook caught in a line change, but they get there to preserve the possession inside the neutral zone. Now we get another stoppage. Too many men, and it's against Stony Brook. And head coach Chris Garofalo is incensed. And this one will put the dagger in the hearts of all Seawolves fans as the penalty comes with just 33 seconds left on the clock. So really, back on the bench. And we'll see if Stony Brook can provide one last desperational effort. So now we seem to have a timeout being called by URI. So both coaches taking advantage of the timeout opportunities. The penalty kill units. It hasn't been their best of days. This definitely will be talked about more during the week leading up to their next road matchups. Too many men. The call. There'll be 2 minutes on the board for URI. However, this may go down as only a 30-second power play, with Rhode Island looming in on a big victory on the road. Now we are back to 5-on-5 hockey as Stony Brook gets a chance in front. It's negated and forced away by Rhode Island. No trip there. Empty awning. Huge block by Spencer Boris. Final 10 seconds. Stony Brook looking for one last rush. The time is running out. Can they do it? No, they cannot. And the Seawolves' perfect run is over. And despite not going home with the victory, they put up an absolute valiant efforts in defeat. As you know, this one would have meant so much for them with how this game went, the emotions, the very physical moments all throughout. But it would not be the case, as it's a somber handshake line for the Seawolves, while University of Rhode Island escapes with the 1-goal victory over Stony Brook. Their record in this weekend's matchup was 5-2-1, and they leave with a record of 6-3-1, while Stony Brook suffers their first and only loss of the season, which ends their run at a perfect start, as this doesn't end without a salute to the fans. The boys gave it their all, and they did what they could. And now they will regroup for the next one next weekend. But that's going to do it for us here at the rinks. Mike Colander saying so long, good night, happy Halloween, and we'll see you soon in 2 weeks. Goodbye.